Day 3, where we are exploring some critical issues and, more importantly, some critical breakthrough points for you so that you can definitely see the life that you've been called to live as you craft your message, as you craft your story.
Absolutely.
So let's welcome everyone as they come online right
welcome,
now.
Regina.
Hey, Regina,
we miss you, sister. Welcome, Susan. We are so happy that you are able to join us.
Definitely, guys.
We are excited about part 3 of our Be Fruitful series. Now, those of you who may have joined us earlier today, you would have gained some really valuable information. And we're not saying it because we were the ones delivering the content, but because the chat was just blowing up. What is that, Glynas?
Hi, Glynas.
Yes,
hi, Shanika.
It was absolutely blowing up. And they were just telling us, wow, this is a BOL. This is a breakthrough out loud. So we hope that it can be as inspiring to you, Keith, as it was for everyone who joined us at noon today. And go ahead and spread the love. So if you think someone can benefit from this information, maybe they're in a dry season, maybe they're not as far in their success, in their business success as they thought they would be. Well, now it's time to spread the love like butter, right? And absolutely give them access to this video. So Susan, and let us know where you're coming from. Are you coming in from the Caribbean like we are? Are you right now in New Jersey? Are you in Baltimore, my hometown? Let us know in the chat, Monique. Where are you coming from?
Hey, Monique, welcome. So we're just going to do our celebration. At this time, we want to celebrate our action takers. We want to celebrate people who have been sharing their breakthroughs. Hi, Shanika. Definitely we'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, Regina, so good to see you.
Hi.
Skylar, Keith, it's so good to see you guys. So we want to celebrate our action taker. Regina, you are an action taker, and more importantly, your husband is in the trenches with you, and we celebrate you. Who else do we want to celebrate?
Yes, we want to celebrate Delisa. Delisa made a commitment today that she's going to give birth to her best-selling book.
Come on now.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We want to celebrate also Cynthia. Cynthia, you go, girl. We understand how it is when you have so much potential on the inside, but you just can't get it out, and you need someone to lock arms with.
Come on now.
So she is really pumped up about locking arms with us in that way. And I really suggest to you, if you're feeling like you're in a place of being stuck, go and lock arms with somebody. It may not be us, but it could be someone else who is you're one person away from your breakthrough.
Come on, say that one more time. You are one person
away from your breakthrough. So go ahead and find those people.
That's right, Monica. We want you to know you are one person away from your breakthrough. Hey, Glennis, you are in New Orleans.
Well, I love New Orleans. I love the food in New Orleans. Oh my.
All right, so who else do we want to celebrate?
Let us celebrate. Who else? Let us celebrate Wylette. Let us celebrate.
Oh yes, Wylette, you
Yvonne.
I'm so happy for you, Yvonne. So more importantly, today we had a really interesting breakthrough session with Priscilla. She's just standing the gap for her husband. They are ministers and pastors all the way in Maryland. So we want to celebrate you, shout you out for taking action. Just acknowledging that there's a bump. I remember there was this girl. She was pregnant for how long, babe? Anika.
Well, I think she was pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah, around probably 8 months.
Yeah.
And she had no clue.
She had no idea. Now, I watch these shows all the time on TV about I didn't know I was pregnant. I really don't know how you don't know that you're pregnant.
Oh, man.
But she's living proof that it exists.
It definitely does exist.
She's someone who was close to us, and she had no idea that she was pregnant until her
And it took someone, in fact, it was our mother, my mother, my wife's mother-in-law. She said, she looked at her, she said, "Are you pregnant?" And she's like, "Me? Pregnant? No."
And this is when she was 7 months.
And she was 7 months. Every time she said, "Girl, I think you're pregnant." And sometimes it takes someone on the outside, a midwife on the outside, to say, "Hey, you've got something inside of you."
That's right.
You've got something that's growing on the inside of you, and sometimes in the haste, in the busyness of your day, you're not aware that you have a powerful message on the inside. But when you're in that safe place where someone can midwife you through the process, and for some of you, you may not need a midwife, you may need a surrogate mother, right? Because you want to see your message multiplied and come on the outside. And sometimes you just need someone to carry you for the journey. Sometimes you need to be supported, and sometimes you need to be lifted. And we are excited about that process of taking you through the journey of bringing birth to your message and giving birth and taking your message and turning it into a
mission. Yes. So let's keep the energy flowing. We want you guys to talk with us, be uplifted with us, and let's get right into the juiciness of today. So if you've been following us for the past 3 days?
3 days. We started off on Sunday.
Yes.
Where we are doing a Be Fruitful series, where we are looking at some of the key elements to ensure that you are fruitful. And the first area we talked about was take action.
Yes.
In our first lesson, take action. It's very, very important to take action. And what were some of the 3 points that we talked about taking action?
Taking action by writing your story. What's not documented does not get done.
What's not documented does not get done. Second, we said what isn't documented does not exist. So it's important to know that crafting your story is it's an acknowledgement of your existence. It is an acknowledgement of your mission.
Yes.
And if it's not documented, it just does not exist. It's your legacy piece. And finally, documentation what?
Beats conversation every
day and any day. So leaders are readers, and leaders make decisions based on what is crafted before them. So you may be a great orator, you may have a great smile, but there's something powerful about having a great message that is documented. They want to see, they want to read, they want to make logical decisions. And when you have your message crafted, which represents your why, your purpose, your destiny, they can touch and feel you and make powerful decisions. And we give you so many testimonies of people who've made that decision by moving from just being a speaker to being an international best-selling author. The second lesson we talked about was take courage.
Yes.
Take courage was our second lesson, and we talked about 3 powerful points. Number 1,
personal commitment.
Personal commitment. It requires you to be involved in your breakthrough.
Yes.
You cannot you can't outsource your responsibility in bringing forth your breakthrough. Secondly, we talked about collective commitment. Sometimes you just need to lean on someone through your process of breakthrough. Sometimes you just need to borrow somebody's faith. As I shared my story, where I had to borrow my wife's faith to see that I'm not just a management consultant, I'm not just an academic, but I'm also a person who's able to create possibilities for others. Are you with me? Have you ever been in that place where you are excited to build other people's dreams, but when it's time to build your dream, you think that you don't have the tools? Come on, guys. You think that you're not good enough.
You're not good enough. Yeah, I was just talking to someone earlier, and they said that they know all the information. They consume all the conferences, and they attend all the conferences, consume all the information, but yet and still they don't feel like they're good enough. And we've all been there before.
Yep.
So sometimes it takes implementing point number 2, which is collective commitment. Locking arms with someone who can believe in you more than you believe in yourself sometimes.
That's right. And LaShonda, Diamond, we want to welcome you guys as you've joined us. We want to welcome you. And then finally, it takes courageous commitment. Not only is it important to take personal commitment and collective commitment, but sometimes you have to make a decision that your dreams are non-negotiable. So you may take the courage to attend the conference. You may take the courage to begin to write your introduction. You may take the courage to buy that digital course and to crack it open.
Or like Regina, to actually do and create the digital course, right? And have the nerve to sell it to people.
Come on now. But what happens when you leave that environment where everyone is a unicorn, but when you step into a room where you're the only unicorn? When you're the only person that knows that there's something beating on the inside of you, and it's a rhythm that is calling you to greatness, and everywhere around you is just a place of complacency.
Wow.
What do you do when you're in such a position? You must take courageous commitment. Commitment, Candace, is despite what you are seeing, despite what's in your bank account, Gabriel, despite your environment, despite your history, despite your family lineage, despite what everyone says. You say, come what may, my decision to give birth to my message, my decision to live life on purpose,
Yes.
it is a non-negotiable. It is something, Karen, that I am not willing to bargain. It is something that I'm not willing to trade in for something lesser. It is something that I'm not willing to set aside. So once you take that type of commitment, you become a person who is fruitful. And tonight, we talked about taking action in our first lesson. Number 2, we talked about have courage or to take courage. And tonight, number 3, we're going to be talking about there is a promise in every problem. There is a promise in every problem. There is potential in every problem.
Now, I don't know if we're in the right room in Wale. I don't know if there are people who have problems like we do, or maybe their life is just perfect, right? But maybe Karen, you have maybe a couple problems in your life. Well, if you do, it's important that you understand that there is promise in your problem.
You know, when let's look at this analogy. You're driving a car, and as you're going on the road in that car, and we've all driven, many of us have either driven or we are a passenger in a vehicle. And sometimes while driving, you will experience bumps in the road.
Major
items
bumps,
in the
especially
road.
if you're in Trinidad.
Stop it. All right. However, there are some potholes that you hit that is so unexpected that it really causes you to pause. Sometimes you feel like you physically hit it yourself. And I want to talk to you about those unexpected things that occur in life. Those unexpected bumps in the road, those unexpected ditches in the road, those unexpected chasms in the road. These things that aren't planned for, they aren't prepared for. Where are my planners? You know, some of us, we like to plan. Okay, where are my planners? All right. You know, you're always planning, you're always putting things together. You have a backup plan and a contingency plan. But what happens when your backup plan and your contingency plan doesn't work? What happens when the unexpected becomes your reality? And what do you do at that point? And some people, they resign from life and they say, you know, I don't think that I can actually fulfill what I've been called to do. But I want to speak to you. I want to speak to that place that you are in. I want to speak to that place that you just came out from, an unexpected tragedy, a medical prognosis, where you have been told something that you doubted all your life that you would suffer from. Being laid off, being demoted, finding out something terrible, receiving that phone call. And if you are in that place or you're coming out of that place, our encouragement to you is that there is a promise on the inside of that problem.
Yes, it is.
There is something that is being prepared for you for your next level.
Wow.
And in order to be fruitful, you must have that type of perspective to see that this is not designed to destroy you. It is designed to take you to your next level. Jonathan, you know this also well. Johnny, we're so glad that you're joining us. You know this also well, that when you face challenges, it is designed, there is a promise inside of your problem.
Yes, because on your journey to success, there will be potholes. What? And I'll ask you, what are potholes? Potholes are formations in the road that have been beaten down continually, bumped and bruised continually, that it's so it's such a massive depression that the thing that once covered it to protect its inside has now been exposed. And the definition, Regina, of a pothole is essentially when the formation of that particular surface has suffered so much that now the inside is exposed.
Hmm.
And on our journey to success, there will be moments where you're vulnerable. There will be moments where the least of you is exposed to the rest of the world. I was there. I remember when we had just moved back to Trinidad, just bought our home, and I was trying to get my life together, Jonathan. So I thought. But I wasn't in order. And so what I made a commitment to myself was that I was going to start doing a schedule and, making sure that all things were done in decency and in order. Well, I got caught slipping, as they say in the streets. And what happened was, and Wale, he's such an organized, disciplined person, that my chaos started to impact him in a way that he couldn't function. And I knew that it got really, really bad when I had to fulfill a number of things. What are some of the things that I had to do that let you down?
It's a long list.
So, and when I negated those things, I was in a position where, and Wally was so upset with me that he didn't even want to talk to me. And this man loves to talk, and he especially loves to talk to me. But I came in a room one day and I was like, honey, let's pray. And you know what he said to me? Do you know what he said to me, Diamond? He said no.
Dum 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 dum.
I couldn't believe it. In our years of marriage, I have never heard him say no to prayer. So that's when I knew things got bad. And so what I did was I reflected on what occurred, and then I realized that it was me and not him. And so I did an assessment. That's the first point. I made an assessment of what things in my life were creating such a depression that I got caught slipping. And those pothole experiences really didn't just affect me, but it affected my journey to move forward. But what was great about that is that I realized what the promise was. The promise was that by taking an assessment of my issues, I was able to shape my life in such a way that I would be an asset to my husband and not a liability.
Now, think about this, folks. What areas in your life that is lacking an assessment? What areas in your life that is lacking some inventory? You're experiencing dysfunction and constant breakdown. And like many of us, I include myself in that list, we like to be the heroes. We like to be, let's pioneer, let's just keep moving, let's keep pressing, let's keep moving.
Yeah.
But when you hit a pothole, Jonathan, when you hit a serious depression in your life, like any man who's driving a vehicle, we have this emotional connections to our cars, right? And if you hit a pothole where you feel like something's broken, the first thing you're going to do, you're not just going to keep driving and hope and pray everything's all right. There are certain types of potholes when you hit that depression, you pull aside and you come out of the vehicle and you conduct an assessment. You look at the tires. You look at the lights. You look at the front of the grill. You look around. You look to see if something fell on. You look to see if something is broken. And sometimes we don't take that due diligence to do an assessment in our lives. And my challenge to you, my question to you, have you done an assessment in the areas of your breakdown? Have you done an assessment to see what's causing this constant dysfunction? And it's through that assessment you put systems in place, and these systems will create a type of functionality in your life that will create ease.
Grace and ease. Yes, grace over grind.
Come on now. So we implemented Lisa's schedule, attending and serving at GLP. We implemented that schedule. And we're still in the process of implementing and still in the process of just understanding the dynamics between us so that there can be rhythm and there can be unity.
Yes.
So my encouragement to you, if you want to be fruitful, if you want to discover the promise in your problem, you have to do an
assessment.
You must do an assessment.
That's why AA is such a popular program in terms of its success rate in getting people who are alcoholics to be recovering alcoholics. Because the first thing that they do is what? They admit that they have a problem.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't admit you have a problem, there is nothing to be solved. You must first identify the problem. All right. Ashley, the other area that we are learning every time is that you must, in the midst of a breakdown, you have to be honest and renegotiate your commitments. So not only are you doing an assessment of your damage, but you have to renegotiate your commitment. So let me take you to that place. Let's say you are that same driver. You're driving that car. You're heading to an appointment, or you're heading to an important engagement where someone is depending on you, where you're the best man in the wedding. All right, or you are about to do a presentation on your workplace and the car shuts down. What do you do then, Ellen? What do you do then at that moment? You have to renegotiate your commitments, because there's a hero inside of us where we always think, one, if there's a breakdown, we simply resign to that place and use that as an excuse of not moving forward. What can I do? I lost my job. What can I do? I just got a diagnosis. You expect me still to have a sense of expectation? You expect me still to write that story? You expect me still to move forward in life? I will just resign my life based on this moment. Think about that. How many of us make long-term decisions on temporary circumstances? How many of us we make long-term decisions, Ronetta, on temporary situations? That's something we have to always fight against, making long-term decisions on temporary circumstances. So in the midst of looking at your commitments, you have to ask yourself the question, I must find the courage to renegotiate what I said yes to when I'm tempted to say no. What I said yes to, you said yes to your dreams. You said yes to moving forward. You said yes to building a legacy. You said yes to lifting your family out of poverty. Wow. You said yes to transitioning out of your job and building a future for your family. And in the moments of hitting ditches in your life, you are tempted now to say no to what you said yes to. But it takes courage.
It takes courage.
It does. It takes a lot of courage. Our mentor Lisa always says it, there's a time in her life where she has to look back at her life, look at the challenges, the blessings, and everything in it, and she has to literally choose it all over again.
Yes.
And in that renegotiation process, you have to make some adjustments. Do you have to adjust your budget? Come on, somebody. Do you have to adjust your lifestyle so that your non-negotiable goals do not fall victim to you guys gotta be excited. Do not allow your non-negotiable goals to fall victim to a temporary circumstance. Whatever that tragedy is. I learned from Susie. She said, sometimes you are facing something that feels so insurmountable. But for those of us who have had some little history in church, they always says, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Your unemployed situation is just temporary. That medical report, it is just temporary. That phone call you receive that makes you feel that you're losing your breath, it is just temporary. Whatever storms you're facing in life, because we face some storms.
Oh, yeah.
We face storms in our business. We face storms in our family life. We've seen other people go through storms, even as mentors, as coaches. Sometimes just being in a room with someone who's going through some tragic experience, you've experienced that tragedy indirectly. But in these moments, you have to remind yourself, this too shall pass. So take the courage and choose your life again. Take the courage to look at your circumstances and choose your commitments again. Stop making your yeses be tempted to be resigned to a no.
Wow.
And finally,
we have to understand that closed doors open new doors.
Mm.
I always heard that whenever an opportunity shuts itself to you, or whenever you go into a next phase in your life, make sure that you don't slam the door shut. You close it gently.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you close it gently? It's because there is so much to be learned from your past experiences. There's so much to be learned from your tragedy. There's so much to be learned from your trauma.
Come on.
And in order for you to be on a trajectory where you can empower others, Wanda, where you can actually stand on your story, Wanda, and not in your story, Ellen, you got to make sure the door is shut gently.
Wow, guys. So I want to say this so that, come on, I just want you to do just this. Juicy. I want you to comment right now. How many of us in this room right now, you are going to make a commitment to choose your life again? Before we even think of the doors of opportunities that are awaiting us. Right now, you think you're facing a shut door, a slammed door. You feel that you've missed an opportunity. In order for you to see the promise in this problem, you have to choose your life again. How many of you saying, I choose my life again? Come on.
Let us know.
Come on.
Are you
I
choosing
choose my
your life again?
I choose
Let
my
us know.
Come on, that's right. I choose my life again. That's right, Lashonda. I choose my life again, Ellen. I choose my life again. That's right, Ashley. I choose my life again. So that's right. I choose my life again. And when you choose your life again, the next step that is going to to propel you forward is when you see that shut door. You know that every closed door is a sign that there is another door that is about to be opened. Every closed door is a sign that even greater doors are about to be opened. So I encourage you today to see the possibilities in every circumstance. You know, there's a sector of the society when economic downturns happen, they see opportunities. When the economy is falling, they see opportunities. Real estate, they see opportunities. Investors, this is your time to see opportunities in your tragedy. There is a great opportunity that is brewing on the inside of you. You know, I remember the story of Uber. The founder of Uber talked about how he was able to come up with this business concept. I believe he was in France, and he was just waiting for transport, and he was drenched in rain, and it was just a icky experience. And there that idea came. What if we are able to provide convenient transportation at your ease and your pleasure? That's how great businesses grow. $1 billion industry. That's a global brand. Started off with a man who was drenched, wet, tired, and frustrated.
Come on,
somebody. Your wet, tired, and frustration is a setup for your $1 billion industry.
Absolutely.
Your wealth and your tiredness, your wet circumstance, your drenched circumstance is a setup for you to solve a national problem, a global problem. Because every great business, every great idea starts off with what problem do you solve and what desire do you create. So when you craft your message, when you take the time to assess, when you take the time to choose your life again, you are now able to see opportunities at every closed door. So we commit you to this solution. We commit these gems, these diamonds, these fruits, beautiful, tasty, juicy fruits.
Yes.
And we commit it to you, and we ask you to stretch your hand and choose your life again. In order for you to be fruitful, you must see the promise in every problem. In order for us to be fruitful, we must be able to see the promise in every problem. Every problem. It's a setup. Come on, somebody. Renata, it's a setup. So we encourage you today that as you craft your message and you see the promise in every problem, that's where you are able to write your next international best-selling book.
Perhaps there'll be leverage to courage from a person like Molly, who came to us when she was in the midst of not knowing her next. She knew that she had a passion to speak about forgiveness because she was a forgiver. She forgave those ruthless folks who murdered her sister. She forgave herself and her husband for their marriage not working out. So she had so many examples of, forgiving, that she knew it was her call in life to share that good news with everyone else. And so despite going through those challenges, she decided to stand on her story and write her best-selling book, You've Got This. So hats off to you, Molly. I know that you're watching this or you'll catch the replay, but your story really does inspire us.
Definitely. So, when we look at, persons like Maurice, I want you to talk a little bit about Maurice. I like when you share Maurice's journey.
Yeah, Maurice, he was incredible orator, incredible, passionate man who really spoke to young people about the power of bouncing back from every setback. He played professional sports. He was in professional basketball. And he was on the high road, on his way to being a rising star until one day on the court, he sustained a career-ending injury. And just like that, all of a sudden, his bottom fell out underneath him, where he was broke. He was busted, and in his words, disgusted, right? But he didn't let his tragedy lead to his downfall. No, instead he took that situation and turned it around for his good. And now today, Maurice is an international best-selling author, and he's able to go around the world speaking to young folks about the power of endurance and the power of bouncing back from every setback.
Come on, guys. If you want to know your bounce back muscle, you gotta have something to bounce against.
Yes.
If you want to discover your bounce back muscle, you need to be able to run up against some things. If you have to experience your greatest best self, you have to go through some great tragedies and some uncertainties. But when you go through those things, you are going to be able to discover your greatest self, your greater self. So I encourage you today to take action, Eugenia. Take action on your greater self. Take action in discovering who you've been called to be. Take action in understanding that in your journey of becoming fruitful, you will face some potholes.
Yeah.
But in going through those potholes experiences, you will discover a greater version of yourself that you will become unrecognizable. So I charge you today to take action on your dreams. I charge you today to look at the circumstances around you as an opportunity to discover an area and a muscle that you've never flexed before. And as you use that muscle, anyone who's done any training, as you use that muscle, it pains. Sometimes you find some pains and aches in some areas of your body you didn't even know it existed. It's just a part of your muscle. It's a part of your muscular structure. It's a part of your muscle that you haven't used in a while. But as you begin to work, you begin to create some sense of resilience and a sense of confidence that this too shall pass. So we encourage you, if you need that type of support to get clarity in your message, if you know you need that type of support to discover your bounce back muscle, if you know you need some support in bringing clarity to your message and turning that message into a movement and turning that movement into massive service to humanity, check the link. Connect with us. We would like just to support you. Maybe you're called to lock arms with us or even lock arms with someone else, but I charge you, lock arms and move forward, because too many times we are doing this alone. But we want you to know in this community, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
So on this night, as you take in this moment of self-discovery of being fruitful in our Be Fruitful series, we want to say my name is Emwali.
And I'm Chantel.
And we love you.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.